Today we are going to see the Queen. Actually, I don't think she's there. But we're going to go to Buckingham Palace and we're going to see the Queen's galleries and we're going to see the changing of the guard. We have a special tour so we get to see all of the parts of the changing of the guard as opposed to just standing at the gates for 2 hours. And then we'll go to see the cavalry and the horses at the Royal Mews.
I really was laughing last night when you sent me that text.
Today's Changing the Guard walking tour. My name is Matt, and my first question is: are you all excited about seeing today's Changing the Guard? Woo! Right answer. Well done. And we have today's flag bearer over here. Well done. Let's do a big round of applause for today's flag bearer. Sorry, what was your name again? Gigi. Brilliant. Okay, so anybody who wants to take the responsibility from Gigi at any point during the tour, including me, I will do that. Okay. Now we should have a really nice time on today's walking tour. And I'll be explaining a little bit about the history, about the guards, about the royal family, a little bit about the Queen, my favourite royal.
On our walking tour. We're walking.
What are you doing?
Used to play it here 350 years ago. It was like long distance croquet. But I know some of you have been to the Tower of London, right?
Yes.
It's the Tower of London. So you know that the Tower of London at one point was also a zoo.
Yes.
Yes. So was St James's Park at one point, around the same time, 400 years ago. And we used to have exotic animals like crocodiles. We had an elephant inside there. Thankfully, no longer. That would be a bit crazy. But we do have pelicans. And if anyone wants to do a bit of research after today's tour, go onto YouTube and type in pelican versus pigeon St James's Park. Can anyone tell me, is the Queen at home at the moment?
Yes, she is, because of the new Prime Minister coming.
Ah, okay. It'd be interesting to see if she's in today. She's like one of these, definitely the same as me. Usually, you want to be away from the city at the weekends, right? So most weekends she's outside of London. She goes to Windsor, and very shortly she should be going up to Scotland for a 2-month break in Balmoral, and that's when they open up Buckingham Palace to visitors. So there are different ways of seeing if the Queen's in or not. And I wonder if you know what that is.
Yellow flag.
Yeah, the flag. Okay, anything about the flag?
Has to be yellow.
It's the royal.
Yeah.
They changed something on the outside of the country.
You're absolutely right. So basically, there's always a flag on Buckingham Palace, but it depends which one it is. You know if she's in or not. And literally, when the Queen steps out, they change it immediately. There'll be someone on the roof, and they change it immediately. I always imagine the Queen should be like a practical joker, like Prince Harry, and just like step out and step back in. But when she's out, she has the Union flag, and that looks like the Union flag to me, the Union Jack. Yeah. When she's in, she has the Royal Standard, which, as you say, is yellow and red and blue and white. And so basically, the Royal Standard is the flag which represents England, which has 3 lions, Scotland 1 lion, the Irish harp, and also the English 3 lions, again, just to show everybody who's in control. If you go to Scotland, they'll have the same flag, but instead of the English 3 lions, they put the Scottish lion in again. I love it. We're very petty. We're very petty, in this country. So there we go. A little bit about the Queen. Now, what we're going to do today, we're going to head over to this parade ground. I'm just going to check the time. Head over to this parade ground, and I'm going to explain what we're going to be seeing today. First off, before it starts getting a bit too crazy and busy. Okay, so let's head this way. Where you can see, hopefully, fingers crossed, with everything going on today, you can see 2 ceremonies rather than 1 on this tour. Basically, usually the change of the lifeguard, which involves horses, takes place at the same time. So we're standing in this big parade ground that's been used historically for all sorts of purposes. Who's heard of King Henry VIII? Yeah, what a guy. Yeah. How many wives did Henry VIII have? 6. What happened to 2 of them? Yeah, do you know the song? Okay, I'll teach you something very easy. It goes, divorced, beheaded and died, divorced, beheaded, survived. Super easy, right? So anyway, imagine Henry VIII when he was a young man. He was a very athletic, very tall man, and he used to enjoy jousting tournaments here. That's where he used to do it. He also used to play tennis here. So basically, this was like his backyard. And on the other side of this more recent building was his palace. It was called Whitehall Palace. That's why we've got a street over there called Whitehall. That burnt down in a fire in 1698, so we moved the royal court elsewhere. So you can imagine the history of this place here. But we've had a lot of royal history here. For instance, the Queen celebrates her birthday here every year. Okay. They'll come out here anytime from 1:45. They'll assemble themselves over there. The new guard will then come from that direction, and they'll be the guards we just saw. They'll be coming over here, and they'll be here just in time for 10 o'clock. So that's what's going to happen.
I'm gonna have to mute mine. Pigeon's there still.
Hello, little birdie.
Who lost their lives in the First and Second World Wars. And what you'll notice is that we have 5 different regiments, and these are reflected by the 5 regiments who protect the palaces. I don't expect you to remember all of this, but if we come into the centre. Alright, so the 1st regiment of guard are known as the Grenadier Guard. Okay, and they are these ones over here. Now the Grenadier Guard have, well basically if you look at the uniforms, they all kind of look the same, right? Red tunics, bearskin hats. But there's 3 very subtle differences between the uniforms. One, well, does anyone know? Yeah. Yeah, well you've got the symbols. That's absolutely right, yeah. So, okay, the first thing is the feather in the hat. So it's called a plume. And the Grenadier Guard have a white plume at the left of their hat. It's very thin, it's almost impossible to see, but a white plume in their hats. They have a symbol of a grenade exploding on their collar. And their buttons are just evenly spaced in ones, yeah, because they're number 1. Number 2 are the Coldstream, and they are these ones here. That's their symbol, it's called the Star of the Garter. It's just like that. On their collar, buttons in 2s. The Coldstream Guard are second in seniority in the Foot Guards, yet their motto is second to none. I like this. Yeah. They're actually older historically than the Grenadiers. Third, we have have the Scots Guard. Guess which one is the Scots symbol? So this is the Scots Guard. So the thistle will be on their collar, no feather in their hats, and buttons in threes. Yes. Next we have the Irish Guard. Guess which one's the Irish? Yes, the shamrock. So not, as some people say, pint of Guinness or a half or something. No. It's a shamrock on their collar, buttons in fours, and a blue plume in their hats. It's called St. Patrick's Green. If you see it, it's blue. And then finally we have the Welsh Guard. Who are the Welsh Guard? In the centre. So we have the Welsh Guard. They're the most recent addition to the Foot Guards, the 5 regiments, and they have a symbol on their collar, and it is this, which is a leek. But the song goes, the words are, the grand old Duke of York, who had 10,000 men, he marched them up to the top of the hill, he marched them down again. When they were up, they were up, and when they were down, they were down. When they're only halfway up, they're neither up nor down. Right, so let's sing this. You all know the words now. If you don't know the words, please join in by clapping and go up and down at the right times. So here we go, guys. Let's get this going. Come on. So the song goes, the grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and he marched them down again. And when they're up, they're up. And when they're down, they're down. And when they're only halfway up, they're neither up nor down. You might be thinking to yourself, and why on earth with this song about here? So historically, the Queen would send a telegram to anybody who reached 100. These days, it's a card. Yeah, but so many people are turning 100 these days across England, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, South Africa, etc. That you have to apply for this now. But every subsequent year after 100 you get another card from the Queen, which made it very interesting. On the occasion of our Queen's mum's birthday, she sent her mum a card. I like this. And the Queen Mother, as she became known as, when our Queen assumed the title of Queen, she used to celebrate her birthday in Clarence House just down the road, which is where Prince Charles now lives. So basically the heir to the throne or the mother of the monarch usually lives at Clarence House. Okay. Interesting thing about George VI and Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, they were on the throne during the Second World War, and there's a movie that's been made about them, King's Speech. Yeah, anyone seen that one?
Yes.
Yeah, great movie, isn't it? So if you haven't seen that, I'd definitely encourage you to watch it. So a little thing, he died rather early, in 1952, but she outlived him by 50 years. She had 1 year of mourning for her husband, but after 1 year she stopped wearing black and she started to party. She was very well known for her parties. She had Windsor Castle and Clarence House. She had 100 permanent members of staff, and she was said to never be away from a bottle of champagne, a bottle of gin and a bottle of red wine. In fact, there is a Queen Mother cocktail named after her, which is called the Queen Mother cocktail, 1/3 gin, 2/3 sweet red wine du Bonnet with a twist of lime, lemon or orange. It's horrible. It's really horrible. Enjoy his head. And in front of him his wife, Queen Elizabeth. So this is the Queen's mother, who lived to the grand old age of nearly 102. She was 101, nearly 102. And we have... So obviously to our left-hand side we've got Buckingham Palace. Yeah. The old guard we saw leaving St James's have joined the old guard who are already at Buckingham Palace, standing still. They're now still not doing anything, standing there. Alright? What we're waiting for is the new guard to arrive. And if you look to your right-hand side, there's a big building over there. That's Wellington Barracks. And in about 3 or 4 minutes' time, roughly, the new guard are going to march directly in front of you here. So they're going to go, and then they're going to go through the other gate of Buckingham Palace, the right-hand gate, and join the old guard on the courtyard. So I've got you in a nice position, so just wait here and you'll see those guards as well. Over there, quite clearly the Union flag is flying. Is the Queen in? No! Absolutely. So, if you were to look behind this fence here, you would see that the old guard are already standing there. The new guard are just about to join them. So, what's going to happen next? The music will stop as they come to a halt. Then, imagine the new guard, after about 2 minutes or so, they'll play music again and they'll march to the centre of the courtyard. Then, for 30 minutes, what are they going to do? Yeah! Woo! So they'll stare at each other for 30 minutes. And then eventually after 30 minutes, what's going to happen? Yeah, you got it. So what will happen after 30 minutes? One group will walk away. One group will walk away, and that will be the new guard. So the new guard, half of them will go to St James's Palace, and all of the old guard will go over to Wellington Barracks. And that's it.
Where are we from?
This is the palace.
We are at the Royal Mews. We just finished a guided tour, and what we learned is that a Mews originated when the falcons that they used for hunting lost their feathers. They would put them up for a month while they lost their feathers, and then bring them out, and where they left them was called the Mews. And once they started riding horses, then they turned it basically into the Mews, into a stable. And this is where the horses are located, but also the carriages and the car. There's an example of a car that they drive that's also here, but beautiful carriages from the 1700s to the present.
Modest carriages in the Royal Collection. This is the Queen Alexandra State Coach, unsurprisingly named after Queen Alexandra, who was the wife of King Edward VII, which made Queen Victoria her mother-in-law, just to give you a rough historical context. Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II is the longest reigning monarch to date. She has celebrated a couple of crown jubilees in her lifetime. In 2012, we celebrated her Diamond Jubilee, which marks 60 years on the British throne. So to mark this very special occasion, a very unique carriage was built. However, you remember I told you this carriage was only 5, which means, unfortunately, it arrived slightly late. But that was easily forgiven, as there was, firstly, the issue that it took 8 years to build this carriage, and secondly, there was the logistical issue of transporting it all the way from Austria. Frecklington, who actually used to be the head coachman here in the Royal Mews himself. So he knew one or two good things about what makes a decent carriage. He wanted to build something very extraordinary, and this carriage is in fact the perfect combination of traditional craftsmanship on the one hand and modern technologies on the other. Most exclusive cars used for the most exclusive royal events. This car here is one of roughly 30 further vehicles that are called semi-state cars, and these are ones that would travel further back in a procession. So not the car that the Queen herself would travel in, but for example that she could offer to her cousin with his family. So let me now introduce you to the Gold State Coach. You might have realised by now what this carriage is normally used for coronation, the most impressive royal event there can be, when a member of the royal family is crowned the King or Queen. Now this carriage is a lot to take in. I think it's covered in symbolism and art, so I suggest I decode it for you strategically, beginning at the front and working my way down towards the end. So if we start up front with the horses, in fact you see 4 fake horses with 2 fake riders. However, in reality it takes 8 Windsor Grey horses to pull the Gold State Coach. Unfortunately, the room wasn't big enough to add another 4 fake horses in front. But if you watch the video of the coronation on either screen, you will get a very good impression of what that escort looks like. It is absolutely massive. Traditional harnesses from the coronation of King George IV in 1820. They are made of red Moroccan leather, and they have become a little brittle with time.
Alright, that is all for day 5. It was a very eventful day, and we are definitely looking forward to going back to Buckingham Palace where we can actually go in. So, be watching for more videos later.